You want to write, then I write it here. Otherwise, I'll add it. I'll add it to the Google Classroom. Okay, now then. So what the next topic is? Next topic is okay. Database objects. Database objects. Now, so what are the various database objects? One is tables, another one views. Whatever is stored in database, that is called database object. Even you can say login is also a database object. User is also a database object. Whatever is stored in database, they are called database objects. But tables, next one, views. Okay, next sequences, synonyms, sequences. Next indexes. Okay, then. So what is this? That are called database objects. But if you go to next topic is programming. In programming, we'll be seeing three more. One is procedures, functions, triggers. That's it. But these three will be covered in programming part. So this will be covered in SQL part. Okay, then. But in this already you know tables. You know working with tables. So what you don't know is views, synonyms, sequence, indexes. Okay, then. Now. So here all these objects are created for specific purpose. You know, tables created for what? Tables are created for storing the data. In database, if you want to store data, then first you have to create table. Views are created for security. Okay, na? Views also comes under what? Security. Views are created for security. Already know some features related to security, logins, users. This provides security at server level. This provides security at database level. This provides security at table level. Views provide security at what? Row and column level. So the views also provide security. Okay, na? View provides another level of security called row and column level. Synonyms are created to reduce complexity. Sequences are created to generate the sequence numbers. Indexes are created. Indexes are created to improve the query performance. Okay, so and these objects are created for each object is created for specific purpose. So tables are created for storing the data. Views are created for security. Synonyms are created to reduce complexity. Sequences are created to generate the sequence numbers. Indexes are created for improving the query performance. And like this will be covered in programming part. Okay, then. Now. So already you know working with tables. Okay, now let's see what views. Okay. Now, so what for views are created? Okay, na? What for views are created? So suppose here a view is a, okay, na? Like what is view? What is the purpose of creating view? You have to answer to three questions in all this. What is that is? What is view? What is the purpose of creating view? Explain with example. What is sequence? What is the purpose of creating sequence? Explain with example. You have to answer to these three questions. Okay, not only this, any concept you take. Group by. What is group by? What is the purpose of group by? Explain with example. Anything. Okay. So what is view is? A view is a subset of a table. Subset means what? Part. Part of the table. Subset. Part of the set. Subset means what? Part of the set. So subset of a table means part of a table. Okay. Then now. So a view is a subset of a table, part of the table. Okay. Then and also a view is a virtual table. A view is a virtual table. Virtual means what? Not real. Virtual means what? Not real. So why it is called virtual table? Okay, because it doesn't store the data, doesn't occupy memory. A real table stores what? Data and occupies memory. But a view doesn't store the data, doesn't occupy memory. So that is the reason it is called what? Virtual. Okay, then. So a view is a virtual table because it doesn't store data and doesn't occupy memory. Doesn't store data and doesn't occupy memory, and it always what? It always derives data from base table. Okay. So because it doesn't store data, doesn't occupy memory, and it always derives the data from base table. Next. And next one. A view is a representation of a query. A view is a representation of a query. A view represents a query. A view always represents a query. You'll understand all this then. Now, I'll take example. So views are created for what? What is the purpose? Okay, na? What is the purpose of creating views? And views are created. One is created for security. Another one to reduce complexity. Views are mainly created for these two reasons. So created for security and created to reduce complexity. We'll see how you can provide security, how you can reduce complexity by creating views. Okay, then. Next. So view, like what? View provides what? Another level of security. View provides another level of security by granting what? In yesterday's class, you granted what? Whole table. You granted the whole table. Yes or no? A view provides another level of security by granting specific what? Specific rows and columns to users. Users, they don't require complete table. Okay, na? Users, they don't require what? The whole table. They require only specific columns and rows. Whatever data required by user, we have to grant only the data. We should not grant a complete table. We should grant only required data. Okay, then. So don't grant all the data to the user, grant only required data. Okay, then so the view provides another level of security by granting specific rows and columns to users. Okay, na? Then now so and views are two types. Views are two types. One is simple views, another one what complex views. Views are two types, simple and complex views. Okay, then so first we'll start with simple views. So views based on what? Views are always based on you create a view. You create a view from table. Create a view from table. Table contains number of columns, number of rows, but view contains specific rows and specific columns, whatever the data required by user. If the view based on single table, it is called simple view. If the view based on multiple tables, it is called complex view. Understood? If the view based on single table, it is called simple view. If the view based on multiple, then so if you created on single table, then it is called simple view. Okay. Now, what the syntax is create view name as select statement. So this is the syntax. Create view name as select statement. Once again, then now let's take example. Okay, create view name as select statement. Example, create view v1. Create view v1 as so select what we take. So whatever the data is required. So user is not allowed to see the salaries and commissions. I'm creating the view. Who is creating the view? Who is in SQL Server? Who is creating this view? You log in using SA, then create view. Who is creating the use? Admin, username I'm asking. What is the username? SA is not username, but SA is login. Who is creating? DBO. SA login means user is DBO. Yes or no? Who is creating this view? DBO. User DBO. Okay, then. So why is creating this view? Because there is a user, another user is there in same database DB7am. There is one more user is there called Vijay. Vijay wants EMP table, but who is the owner of EMP table? DBO. Okay, na? So Vijay wants EMP table, but he doesn't want all the data. He wants only number, name, salaries. Sorry, he want number, name, job, department number. Okay, na? So Vijay is not allowed to see the salaries and commissions. Then what DBO is doing? DBO is creating what's the view. So creating the view. In this view is including so whatever the data that Vijay is allowed to access. So Vijay is allowed to access only these 4 columns. So in this way, I'm including only these 4. Okay, then. Next, after creating this view, instead of granting the EMP table to Vijay, I'll grant what? View to Vijay. I'll grant V1 to Vijay. So if you grant V1 to Vijay, now Vijay can access only this 4. He cannot see the complete EMP table. He can see only these 4 columns. Yes or no? So this is what providing what's the security. What security? Column level security, row level security. Okay, then. So after executing this command, what happens? When you create a view, what happens? So when the above command is executed, SQL Server creates a view v1. SQL Server creates view v1, and what it stores query not query output. What it stores? It stores what? Query. So this query is stored, but not query output. Query output means data. Data is not stored in V1. What is stored? Query is stored. That's why in the definition, I said what view is a what's it? Virtual table, because it is not storing the data. It doesn't occupy memory. So it is not storing the data. It is storing only the query. Only query stored in database, but not query output. Okay, then. So that means here now when the above command is executed, okay, then when above command executed, SQL server creates view v1 and stores query but not query output. Okay, then. Okay, na? So let me run this, execute this command now. Okay. Oh, so create this. Now the view created. Okay, then. So what is created? View created, but what is stored? Query stored. Now I'll run this. Select star from V1. If I run select star from V1, will it show the data? If I run select star from V1, will it show the data? Yes or no? No? Huh? So because I said it doesn't store data, it doesn't occupy memory. It stores query. So when I run select star from V1, will it show the data? Let's see, run this command. It is showing the data. Okay. Actually, I said it doesn't store the data now, but from where this data is coming. So then here I given a point. See, doesn't store data, doesn't occupy memory, and another, it always what derives the data from what? Base table. So derives the data from base table. Okay, then. So that means when you run this query, like what, this is the query you submit. Select star from what? V1. When you submit this query to SQL server, internally SQL server execute the query like this. So select star from, okay, select star from V1. So V1 is replaced with this query. Wherever you refer V1, V1 is replaced with this query. V1 is representing a query. V1 is representing this query. Wherever you reference V1, V1 is replaced with this query. That means executing the query on V1 means what query is executed? If you execute the query on V1, so this query is executed. Understood, Anna? When you execute the query on V1, this query is executed. Okay. So this query get the data from where? Base table. Okay, na? So whenever you run the query on view, it derive the data from base table. So that means whatever the data is that is displayed here, this data is not coming from view. This is coming from base table. Okay, na? Then. So when the above query is submitted to SQL server, when an above query submitted to SQL server, it execute the query as follows. It execute the query as follows. How it will rewrite? It will rewrite the query as follows. It will rewrite the query. So it execute the query like this. You execute query on V1, but internally SQL Server execute this query. Okay, then. Okay, next. So this is the concept, view concept. Okay, now then. So you create the view. Now run the query on view. Whenever you run the query on view, this query is executed. That means you are giving a name to this query. Giving a name to this query. So what is the name is V1. Okay, then. Okay, fine. But actually, what is the purpose? Why you created? Why you created? Actually, my requirement is why I created this view, because there is a user Vijay. He is not allowed to access complete table. He is allowed to access only these 4 columns. That's why I created what's a view. Okay, now. So Vijay wants to access CMP table data, but is not allowed to access the complete table. Is allowed to access only this 4. And then next, what I'm doing is what granting what's it permissions on view to user. Granting permissions on view to user. Okay, then. So grant permissions. How to grant? How to grant what? Grant, select what? Insert, update, delete on V1 to what? Vijay. So we created this user in yesterday's class. So permissions are granted on view to Vijay. Who is granting this permission? Who is the owner of V1? DBO. Who created this view? DBO. DBO is granting permissions to Vijay. This is CMP table. Yes, he can access CMP table, but he can't access CMP table directly. He can access CMP table through view. Accessing view means accessing EMP table, but can't access CMP table directly. You can access CMP table through view. Okay, then. So now let me run this command. So execute this command. Then so suppose here what execute this. So granting operations on EMP table to view Vijay. So commands completed successfully. Permissions are given to Vijay. Check. I want to check. So Vijay can access this view or not. How to check? How to check? Open. Again open. Open. Connected to what? Connected to like okay, Vijay. Then open SQL Server. Now give the login. What is the login? Login is Naresh. Login is Naresh means user is Vijay. Login is SA means user is DBO. Okay, na? Naresh. Password is 123. Connect. Okay, then now let's see. So then DB7AM. That both are accessing same table, same database or not? Both are same database. Users are different. Okay, na? Then 2 users. Okay, na? Then now run this query. Select star from what? V1. Select star from V1. Now can you access? Yes. So you can't access EMP table. You can't access EMP table. He can't access EMP table, but he can access EMP table through view. Through view. Okay, then. So through view, we can access only this port. Understood? Now. So now, and after executing this command, so just Vijay, go to Vijay, user is Vijay. What is the login? Login is Naresh. Now, so Vijay can select the data. Yes, select start from V1. Vijay can update the data. Huh? Vijay can update the data in EMB table. Yes, he can update the data in EMB table, but through view. Through view, he can update. So that means view allows DMLs. View allows DMLs. Yes, we can insert the record through view. We can update the records through view. We can delete the records through view. So if Vijay wants to perform any operations on EMB table, he can perform operations on EMB table through view. So you want to update, then what? Okay, na? Let's see. For example, what is the Blake, what is the job is manager? Blake job is manager. Then, so what I'm doing is I want to update what view. So Vijay is updating view, set job equals to, suppose for example, salesman, where employee number equal to 7698. So 7698 job is updated with what? Salesman. So who is updating? Vijay. Okay, then now so let's update, then execute this command. One row affected. So job is updated. Okay, na? Check. Select star from what? V1. Select star from V1. So check job is updated or not. Yes, he updated. Salesman. And can you see the changes? DB work can see the changes. Okay, na? Where it is updated? Base table only. Sir, view doesn't store the data. Whatever commands you execute on view, that commands are actually executed on table because view is nothing. View is doesn't store data. So if any commands executed on view, that commands are actually executed on what? Base table. So just go and see the base table. Select star from EMP. So 7698. In table also job is updated with what? Salesman. Okay. So any commands executed on view, the commands are actually executed on base table. Okay. But can we see the changes? Yes. But actually changes made by one user visible to another user after commit. Actually the changes made by one user visible to another user after commit. But so by default SQL server runs in what? Auto commit. So that's why you can see the changes automatically. I not executed commit. Even though I not executed the commit, but still you can see the changes because it runs in auto commit. Okay, then. So you can update, you can delete, whatever you want, you can do. Then no. So can we update the salary? Can we update the salary through view? Let me run this command. Can we update? So Vijay is updating what? Salary. Vijay is updating the salary through view. So let me run this. Invalid column name sal. Why? Because salary is not included in view. So that is what? Like security. Okay, na? Is not allowed to access what? Salaries. So through view, you can access only numbers, names, jobs, department numbers. Through view, you can't update salary. If we try to update the salary, then this command gives error. Okay. Then now this is what this is kind of then. But what you are providing is you are providing what's a column level security. Column level security. Then how to provide row level security? Row level security means granting specific rows. The previous one granted specific columns. Row level security means granting specific rows. So then, for example, create view V2 as select what number, name, job, department number from EMP. Okay. Then where department number equals to 20. That means in this view, what I'm including? Only the employees belongs to 20. Suppose user is allowed to access only the employees belongs to 20. Is not allowed to access all the employees data. Is allowed to access only the employees belongs to 20th department. Then create the view. Create view. Then create view. So who is creating? DBO. Create the view. After creating the view, same thing. Grant permissions to what? Grant, select, what's it? Insert, etc. Select, insert, update, whatever. Select, insert, update, delete. Okay. On what? V2 to what? Vijay. So view granted to Vijay. Now if you see the view, select star from V2. If you see the view, you can see only the employees belongs to 20. You cannot see the employees belongs to other departments. Understood? You can see only the employees belongs to 20th department. Understood? Then so after creating grant permissions, okay. Now user Vijay can access only the employees belongs to 20th department. Okay. Then now so user what Vijay can access only the employees belongs to 20th department. Okay. Next. Okay, now then. No. No. So this is what this is. This is what row level security. Okay, now then. So previous one is column level, and this is what row level security. Next. But these two views are called what? Simple views. Because these two views are based on what? One table. So these views are called simple views. One more is there. What is that is? Complex views. So when view is called complex view, okay, then a view set to be complex view. A view set to be complex view. One, it based on what? Based on multiple tables. or if query contains what group by class or distinct class or aggregate functions or set operators, subqueries, then the view is called what? Complex view. If the query performs group by, distinct, aggregate, set, subqueries, then the view is called complex view. Okay, then multiple tables means what? Multiple tables means what? Join. So all these operations are complex. Joins is complex. Group by is complex. Aggregate functions complex. Subqueries, set operators. All these what? Complex operations. That's why the view is called what? Complex view. Okay. Previous one is what? Simple view. Okay. Na? So because this query is what? This query is performing what? Simple operations. Where clause? Simple operation. This is simple view. If the query performs complex operations, the view is called complex view. Okay. So for example, what the like purpose of this is then. So actually there are some front-end developers are there, like maybe what .NET developers or what Power BI developers or Tableau developers. So there are some front-end developers are there. So actually what they want is this .NET developer is developing one application, or Power BI Tableau, these developers are developing one presentation. Okay, na? Visualization, data visualization, reports. They're creating the reports, and for this, okay, na, they needs data. They want to. This .NET developer is developing the application. For his application, he wants data. Okay, na? The data is not there in .NET. It is there in what? SQL Server. For his application, he needs some data, but the data is there in what? SQL Server. And it's not there in one table. It is there in 10 tables. Whatever the data this .NET developer requires, it's not there in one table. It is there in what? 10 tables, number of tables. Then what .NET developer has to do? He has to get the data from 10 tables. He has to use the data for his application. But to get the data from 10 tables, he has to write join query. Okay, now to get the data from 10 tables, he has to write what's it? Join query. To write join query, he must know which two tables he can join. Next, what is the type of the join? Inner join. If it is outer join, what is the outer? Left outer, right, full outer. So he must know all this. If you know all this, then he can able to write join query. He must know which two tables he can join, what type of join. But so he's not expert in what's it? Maybe he's not expert in SQL. He's not expert in writing complex queries. He can write simple queries, but he can't write what? Complex queries. Then what he will do? He'll contact what? SQL Server developers. He'll contact SQL Server developers in a like in big companies. And for every project they maintain what? For every project they maintain separate backend team. Okay, now for every project they maintain separate what's it? Backend team. So this developer contacts what? SQL Server developers. And SQL Server developer can write the query. Yes, he can write the query. If you give the scenario, he can able to write the query because he's expert in writing queries. Then you write the query. What is whatever you want, select what columns from what's that? Table 1, next one, inner join, table 2, next one, on condition, inner join, what? Inner join, table 3, on condition, whatever. Like he write the query. 10 tables, he'll join the 10 tables. He'll write the query. But not only he will write the query, not only write the query, On top of this query, he creates what's a view CV1 as something. He write the query on this query. Based on this query, he creates what view. After creating the view, okay, na? Actually, a requirement is not in SQL Server. Requirement is .NET. Okay, na? So he create the view, and this view given to what? This view given to what, sir? .NET developer. But if you want to get the data from 10 tables, simply run this query, select star from CV1. Okay, na? This view given to .NET developer and ask .NET developer to get the data from 10 tables. Simply run this query, select star from CV1. When you run this query, select star from CV1, what query is executed? Sir, here, in the very first example, when you run the select star from V1, what is executed? This query is executed, yes or no? Similarly, here when you run the query on CV1, select star from CV1, when you run this query, what query is executed? This query is executed. What this query returns? This query returns data from 10 tables. That means .NET developer will get the data from 10 tables without writing the complex join query. This feature is useful for front-end developers who are not expert in what's it, writing complex queries. Okay, then. So these are the two main purpose of creating views in real time. Okay, and one is one security, another one reduces what complexity. So view reduces to reduce complexity. Tell me how complexity is reduced. With the help of views, complex queries can be converted into simple queries. Okay, then now. So with the help of views, with the help of views, complex queries are converted into simple queries. Okay. Now, with the help of views, complex queries can be converted into what? Simple queries. Okay. And how? Like this. What? Example, create view CV1 as create view CV1 as what? Select, for example, e.empn move e.ename e.sat d.department number d.dname, then from empe inner join on e.department number equals to okay. Then okay. Next, after creating this, uh, after creating view, after creating view, now whenever whenever you want data from EMP and department tables. Okay, then whenever we want data from EMP and department tables, instead of writing giant query, write the simple query. Write the simple query as follows. What that is? What is the simple query? Select the star from CV1. When you run select star from CV1, what query is executed? This query is executed. So this query gives data from EMP table and department table. Okay, now. So here it is 2 tables, okay, but sometimes number of tables, okay, 5 tables, 10 tables are there. So it is difficult for front-end developers because they are not expert in writing complex queries. Simple queries they can write. Okay, then. So now create this view created. After creating the view, now you run this. What? Select star from CV to CV1, whatever. CV1. Okay. Select star from CV1. When you run select star from CV1, what it is showing? It is showing the data from EMP table and what's that? Department table. Showing the data from EMP and department. Okay. Then that's all. Got it? So then you don't need to write this giant query, write the simple query. So the complex query is converted into simple query. That's all. So this is one example. One example. If you want another example, like example 2. Okay, now one user is asking, like is asking department wise summary. Is asking what's it? Department wise summary. Department wise summary means summary. Minimum salary, maximum salary, total salary, next one average salary, next one count how many employees. Minimum, maximum, total, average, count. You want all this department wise. Okay, na? Then what? So group by. Okay, then but you want department names, not department numbers. Actually, EMP table contains what? Department numbers, but user wants department names. Then what? Department names. Then create what's that? View CV2. This is also difficult for front-end developers because they don't know group bys. Okay, now then what? Select what? D dot D name, department name wise. Here what is required? Join is also required because if you want department number, join is not required because department number is there in EMP table. But is asking department name. Department name is not there in EMP table. What is there in EMP table? Department number is there, but is asking department name. So what is required? Join is also required. Then department wise, what do you want? Minimum, maximum, total, number of, average number of what? Then what is min of what's E dot salary as minimum salary. Next, max of E dot salary as max salary. Next one, sum of E dot salary as total salary. Next one, average of E dot salary as AVG salary. Number of employees, count of what's that? E dot EMP and otherwise count star. Simply say count star as CNT. Count from what? EMP E inner join department D. Give the join condition This is the join condition. Next one, group by grouping is based on what? Department name wise. Department wise you want. So grouping is based on department name. So then there are three departments. Accounts becomes one group, research becomes one group, sales becomes one group. And for each group it calculates what? Minimum, maximum, total, average, number of employees. Okay. Then okay. So then after creating this, now whenever you want department wise summary, then after creating this view, when you want department wise summary, simply run what's a select star from CV2. Okay. After creating this, now after creating view, so whenever we want department wise summary, then simply run this query. Simply execute this query. Select star from CV2. You don't need to write this query. Write this simple query. Okay, na? Then understood. So for front-end user point of view, you are hiding the complexities. Okay, na? How is getting the data? All these complexities are what's are hidden. So create this. Create no. Create this. So view created. After creating, now run this. What selects are from CV2. Selects are from CV2. That's all. Accounting minimum this, maximum this, total, average. How many? 3. Research 3. Sales 3 employees. So what is this is department wise what's that? Summary. Department wise summary. Okay. Then okay then. So these two. One is simple, another one what? Complex. Now next like how to see the list of views you created. Okay, na? How to see the list of tables? You know how to see the list of tables? No? How to see the list of tables? Selects are from EMP. EMP means it will show EMP table data. I'm asking, I want to see the list of tables. Whatever tables you created, I want to see the tables list. To see the tables list, what? Information underscore schema dot tables. Information underscore schema dot tables. Okay, na? This is like what? You go to what? You go to Object Explorer. In Object Explorer, so there is a WhatsApp tables you can expand. So this is a list of tables. But I want to write a query. I want to write a query to get the list of tables. Then what is the query to get list of tables? This is the query. When you run this query will show what's that tables, all the tables list, DPT, EMP, SAL grade like this. And it is also showing what's that view names also. Okay, then understood. Query to see the list of tables. Okay, then. So what is the like? Suppose for example, display what display what the list of tables created by user. This is the query. Select star from what information underscore schema dot what tables. So this query gives list of tables. Okay, then so then this gives what only the views. Let's see here. V1, V2, CV1, CV2. What are these? All these are what's that? Okay, na? All these are what views. So when you want to see the views list, then go to this. Here you can see the query also. The query you created view, na? The view created with query. You can see that query also here. Okay, then you can see this query. Understood? Then okay. Next. So like how to what's that like drop, okay na? How to drop what dropping dropping view, how to drop view name, okay na? Drop view name. Can we see this list in the Object Explorer? Yes or no? Yes, we can see this list in the object. Sir, anything stored in the database, you can see that in Object Explorer. What, how, expand the database, expand what's the views. If you expand tables, it will show the tables list. Views, V1, V2, CV1, CV2. You can see the views list also. You can see the synonyms, programmability. You can see the procedures, functions, triggers. Okay, then. So whatever you want, you can see. Clear? Now. So this is the command to drop what view? Drop view view1. Okay, then. So if you drop the view, is base table is affected? If you drop the view, base table is affected? No. But question is, if I drop the base table, if we drop base table, okay, na? What about the view? If you drop base table, what about the view created on base table? Then, if you drop base table, what about view created on base table? Then, so if you drop base table, what about view created on, what about views created on base table? Views are dropped or not dropped? Okay, na? Then, if you want, you can check. See, in our examples, all the views created on what table? EMP table only. Suppose I drop EMP table. Drop table what? EMP. EMP table is dropped. Just go and check the views. Views are there or not there? Select star from what? Information schema dot what? Views. Information schema dot views. Then views are there or not there? Views are there. Views are there, but views cannot be queried. You cannot run the queries on view. Select star from V1. Because when you run the query on view, that query is executed on base table. But base table is there or not there? Not there. This query gives error. Invalid object name EMP. It's not saying invalid object V1. It is saying invalid object EMP. Because when you run the query on view, like actually, now you are able to drop the what, sir? No, you are able to drop the base table. Yes or no? You're able to drop the base table even if you exist on the base table. You're allowed to drop the base table or not? Yes. But what I want to do is, I don't want to allow the user to drop base table if any views exist on the base table, because views are dependents now. Views are depending on what? Base table. So I don't want to allow the user to drop base table if any views exist on the base table. Then, then when you're creating the view must be created with one option. What that option is? With schema binding. With what's that? Schema binding. With schema binding. Then what is with schema binding? If you created with schema binding, if you created with schema binding, then if you created with schema binding, then if you created with schema binding, then SQL server, then SQL server will not allow users to drop base table if any view exists on the base table. I don't want to allow the users to drop base table if any view exists on the base table. Okay, then. Okay, now I want to create a view. I want to create a view with schema binding. First see this, but EMP table is not there. EMP table is removed now. Then we drop to the EMP table, but department table is there. I'll create the view based on department table. Okay, then I create the view based on department table. Let's test. Okay, so let's test 1 second. Just see then. So what I'm doing is create what view something v5. What with schema binding. Create view v5 with schema binding. Then as what? Select star from what? DEPT. Select star from DEPT. Okay, then. So let me run this. Create view with schema binding. So let me create this. When you create this, then what it is gives error. Star is not allowed in schema bound objects. When you are creating with schema binding, star is not allowed. Compulsory you have to type the column names. You have to type what's that? Column names. What are the column names? Department number, name, location. You cannot use star. So you have to type column names. Okay, now star is not allowed. Then let me execute this command. So cannot schema bind v5 because name DEPT is invalid for schema binding. So it is saying this name DEPT is invalid for schema binding. So why it is invalid? When you are creating view with schema binding, compulsory the table name should be prefixed with schema name. Schema name. Or the schema is default schema is what, sir? DBO. What is the default schema? DBO. So what is the DBO dot what? DEPT. Schema name dot table name. Okay, now then what the default schema is? DBO. So the table name should be prefixed with schema name. So the schema name is what? DBO. That okay now? Understood or not? Then so if we want like okay, we'll discuss schema, but let me complete this objects. We'll discuss schema. So actually login is there. What the login is? SA. In SA, like one user. What the user? DBO. DBO is associated with what? SA login. And a user creates one or more schemas. A user creates what, sir? One or more schemas. The DBO is username, and this user can create one or more schemas. By default, one schema is created. What the schema is? DBO. By default. By default, it comes with DBO schema. Schema name is also DBO. And what actually the schema concept is, related objects are grouped into one schema. Related objects are grouped into one schema. Okay, na? Related objects are grouped into one schema. Suppose, for example, like what you are doing some project that is related to HR. Okay, na? Group all the HR tables, HR views, HR indexes, HR sequences, HR database, procedures, functions, triggers. All this group these objects into one schema. Group all these objects into what? One schema. So in DBO, create one schema. What is that schema? HR. In HR, so what? Tables. What are the tables? EMP, whatever, department. So whatever views, CV1, V1, V2, whatever. All the views, tables, views, indexes, sequences, procedures, functions, group them into what's it? HR schema. Create, suppose here, I'm doing sales project also. Sales. So whatever the tables, procedures, functions, views, indexes, sequences, synonyms, group those objects into what? Sales schema. Okay, na? Then. So username is what? DBO. He is created two schemas. One schema is what? HR. Another schema is what? Sales. So then, now, so here, like how to access this table? How to access this table? Sir, one more schema is there. What is the schema? Default schema. That is what? DBO. DBO is default. By default, every user associated with one DBO schema. Apart from DBO, is created two more schemas. What is the schema? HR sales. Like for example, I create table. What's that? I create table. Suppose customer table. When I say create table customer, where this table is created? Default schema. What is the default schema? DBO. Have you mentioned any schema? No. If you don't mention any schema, by default it's created in DBO. But I want to create this table in sales schema. Then you have to say like this: sales dot. Sales dot. If you say sales dot, then this table is created in sales schema. Okay, na? And then if you don't mention anything, default DBO. Suppose next I run the query. Suppose I run the query select star from customer. When I run the query select star from customer, SQL server go to default schema. It will search for customer table in default schema. What is the default schema? DBO. So customer table is not there in DBO schema. Then it gives what? Error. So, but where it is there? Sales. Then compulsory you have to mention what? Schema name. Sales dot customer. If you go to real-time codings, if you go through the real-time codings, all this will be like this. There will be what's it? Schema name dot table name. Understood? Then, but what the standard? Again, the standard is this. That will be included in what's it? Brackets also. Then brackets. So it's included in brackets like this. DBO dot sales dot schema. Customer name. Customer table. Okay. Understood or not? So what you do? Create the schema, group the related objects into one schema. Understood? Then. Now. So then what it is saying is department is what's it? Invalid for schema binding. Why? Because if you write like this, then it gives error. So compulsory the table name should be prefixed with what? Schema name. What is the schema name? DBO dot DEPT. Then what? This one. Now commands completed successfully. So there are two rules here. When you are creating schema binding, there are two rules. One rule is what? One rule is star is not allowed. One rule is star is not allowed. Not allowed in schema binding. Star is not allowed in star is not allowed for schema binding. Select star is not allowed in schema binding. Next one. Next one. Table name should be prefixed with what? schema name. Table name should be prefixed with schema name. Then example, create view V10, V5 something as select what, once again, we have to say what with schema binding. With schema binding, what select department number, name, location from dbo dot what dept. Okay, then so now create this. Okay, now create this. Now create it. After creating this, what you try to drop table. You try to drop table. It will allow or it will not allow. It will not allow. SQL Server will not allow users to drop base table if any view exists on the base table. So it will not allow you to drop the table. So if you try to drop the table, then what this gives? Drop table DEPT. I'm trying to drop the department table. So it says the view what's the reference should by foreign key now. Okay. Then drop table what's that? EMP55. Some table is referring this. Okay. Then drop table DEPT. Referenced by foreign key now. SP help what is that foreign key? We can find out by going to this. Okay, na? What foreign key? Then foreign key. This is the foreign key. Which table? EMP 88 table foreign key. Okay, then so I'll drop the table. Drop table what? Actually, don't need to drop the table. Just drop foreign key. You can drop what's that? Foreign key. How to drop foreign key? Alter table EMP 88 drop constraint name. What is the constraint name? This is the constraint name. Drop constraint name. Then like see this here. Then let me run this. Okay, then let me run this command and drop. Now drop table what? Drop table DEPT. So try to drop the department table. So then drop table DEPT because it is referenced by V5. Earlier it is said referenced by foreign key. I removed the foreign key. Now it is saying what? Referenced by V5. Referenced by V5. Okay, then. So that there is a view depends on this. So that's why you could not drop what view. Okay. To drop this table, first you need to drop view. Can't drop table na, because there is a dependent on this table. What is the dependent? V5. So to drop this table, first you have to drop V5. Understood? Then. But if you don't create with schema binding, so you can drop the table or not? Yes. But with schema binding, it will not allow. Then what is the next command? Drop table DEPT. What this command gives? Error. Because V5 is referenced by department table. Okay, then that's all. So if you try to drop this table, then it is giving error. Okay. Understood? Then. Okay, then. అదే క్వాలిఫై డిబి దాన్నే క్వాలిఫైయింగ్ అంటారు, క్వాలిఫైయింగ్ నేమ్ అంటారు, ఫుల్లీ క్వాలిఫైడ్ నేమ్ అంటారు. వ్యూస్ అని కాదు, డిబి నోటేషన్, అది టేబుల్ నేమ్, డేటాబేస్ నేమ్, డాట్ స్కీమా నేమ్, డాట్ టేబుల్ నేమ్, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఫుల్లీ క్వాలిఫైడ్ నేమ్ అంటారు. సో యాక్చువల్గా దెన్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు విండోస్ అథెంటికేషన్ ద్వారా లాగిన్ అయ్యావు. ఎస్, దెన్ సో ఓకేనా, ఆఫ్టర్ లాగింగ్ త్రూ విండోస్ అథెంటికేషన్, ఓకే, ఇక్కడ సెక్యూరిటీ అని ఉంటుంది. సెక్యూరిటీ లాగిన్స్ ఉంటుంది, ఓకేనా. ఎస్ఏ ఉంటుంది, ఎస్ఏ విల్ బి క్రియేటెడ్ ఆటోమేటికల్లీ. రైట్ క్లిక్, go to properties. In properties, now you set the password. Okay చెయ్యి, నెక్స్ట్ క్లోజ్ చెయ్యి, మళ్ళీ లాగిన్ గా SA, login is SA. You select SQL Server authentication. Then it will ask login, SA, password, whatever the password you entered here, enter this password. Okay, connect. So like ఇప్పుడు SA password ఏంటో నీకు తెలియదు, ఓకేనా, you have to set the password. First you connect through Windows authentication, okay. After connecting to Windows authentication, then open this, this is Object Explorer. So here security is there, expand security, okay. In security there is a call logins, okay. Then so what you are doing is resetting the SA password because you don't know the password. Then logins, next one SA, right click, so properties, go to properties, your password is change there, change the password. Okay, that's all. One day I will discuss the schema concept. Hello, one day I'll discuss the schema concept. That time your doubts will be clear. Because there is a foreign key is there. There is a foreign key depend